The earth was not as crowded as we see it today. It was quiet, quiet to a terrifying degree. However, this calm was suddenly shattered by the first act of bloodshed in history. Abel departed, leaving behind a sorrow that no consolation could soothe in the heart of the fair-skinned man. Cain was banished, bearing his curse to the farthest reaches of the valleys. At that critical moment, when it seemed that evil might triumph, and that the human race might go astray from its very first step, the veil of the unseen parted to reveal a heavenly gift. From the womb of ashes and sorrow, Seth was born. After lean years of grief, Adam and Eve were blessed with this newborn. He was no ordinary child. Indeed, he bore the features of his father Adam, both in physique and character, as if he were a renewal of that primordial purity upon the earth. Because he was the divine compensation, Adam named him Seth. Seth, a word in the ancient esoteric language meaning gift of God or God's substitute, that is, a replacement for the lost, righteous son, Abel. Seth did not grow up like other human beings. Rather, he matured within the embrace of prophethood. He learned from Adam the sciences of the earth and religious law, the appointed times of worship, and astronomy. Indeed, even future prophecies, such as the events of the flood. When the moment of Adam's departure arrived, he entrusted the covenant to him and charged him with the care of humanity. Thus, Seth became the first lawgiver after his father, and 50 divine scrolls were revealed to him, delineating the boundaries between truth and falsehood. And here, ladies and gentlemen, began the most critical phase in early human history. A stage of geographical and moral division. Humanity split into two completely separate worlds. They are separated by a solid wall of strict injunction, no mingling, and no mixing. The first world, high atop towering mountains, where Seth and his people settled, a life defined by asceticism, piety, and worship. The second world, deep within the abyssal valleys, where the descendants of Cain settled, there, tranquility vanished, and the features of the first distorted material civilization began to emerge. In those valleys, Iblis was laying the cornerstone of his alternative plan. Historical accounts state that the sedition began with sound and image. Satan invented musical instruments and flutes for them, and the valley was filled with noise and music for the first time. On the other hand, there was a strange paradox. The mountain men, the Banu Sheth, were highly handsome and beautiful, while the women of the valleys, the sons of Cain, were less beautiful. They compensated for this by inventing makeup, adornment, and revealing their private parts. The wall remained standing, until we turn to that eternal form of resistance, human curiosity. One night, a man from the tribe of Sheth stood on the edge of the mountain. He looked down and saw the lights of the fires shining. He heard the sounds of flutes playing. Curiosity led him to break the commandment. He descended into the valley. He crept forward, gazed, and was dazzled by the splendor and revelry he beheld. He returned to the mountain and brought word to the young men. Then came the catastrophic collapse. Groups of young men began gradually descending into the valley. The rugged handsomeness of the mountain men met the alluring adornment of the valley women, and the disaster struck, the first act of illicit sexual intercourse in the history of the earth. Seth, peace be upon him, spent the remainder of his life, which spanned approximately 912 years. He strives to stem this moral decline, holding fast to the 50 scrolls, preaching to those who remain with him upon the summits. And before closing his eyes for the last time, he entrusted the testament to his son Enos, so that the prophets who came after him might inherit it. Leading up to Idris and then Noah, peace be upon them, whose flood came to completely cleanse the earth of the defilement of that first great tribulation. Distinguished guests, the story of Seth is not merely a tale from the distant past. Rather, it is humanity's first lesson. The struggle between purity and clamor, between the peaks of principle and the valleys of desire, is as ancient as humanity itself. Seth has departed, yet his precepts remain etched in the conscience of the earth.
Ooh.